Hello, and we're back with the new year. So happy new year for this Doncaster preview, Monday the 2nd of January, live on Racing Post TV tonight. 6:09 kicks off proceedings for this 12 race program, and it kicks off with an A1. And Lightfoot Doak is one of the best bets on the card, in actual fact, he said, just turning his phone off. And she's been running really well. She ran on the Boxing Day card, and I didn't see what happened to her last time. She got beaten, but that was in an open race, and she's been dominating A1s recently, leading from the front. I think she'll edge off slightly from the red jacket here, but Sharpish Trinity is more of a stand type, so I think she'll have plenty of room into the turn. I think really the only danger is a kennelmate, Lightfoot Teresa, who again won on Boxing Day, so we don't really know too much about that line of form. But other than that, we do know Lightfoot Teresa is a staying type of greyhound, so she'll need a little bit of luck early, but I wouldn't want her to turn too close coming out the second turn. But I do think the weather today has been pretty good. I think it's been quite boggy of late, and this will suit Lightfoot Doak here today with the quicker ground to show that early, get loose, and come home in style. It's a fairly decent bet in the opener, around about 11 to 10 even money. The 6:28 is a race where Penny's Endeavour could lead here. Not always the best of starters, Lee McManus's charge. However, he does go to the corner okay. And in this sort of makeup, he should get inside Wakiki Dell in trap 5 and try and dominate the race. That, kind of anomaly of the misbreak is a bit of a worry. And that's why I'm going to also play Barnside Taylor. Another misbreak type, but this one's a much bigger price at 6-1. So I couldn't refuse the 6-1 about Barnside Taylor. Should lead Burnfoot Roxy into the turn. She's a bit of a one pacer. But Barnside Taylor's got a good all-round pace, but she's not what you would call a prolific winner. So you always need a decent price about it, and we've got that today. So I'm going to bet 2 and 4 level stakes in race 2, the 6:28. On to the 6:43 race 3 is an A4 grade event. And I think Bancher Flow is probably the most likely winner here. And again, similar credentials in that I think that the ground will help Bancher Flow because she's a little bit vulnerable in the closing stages. But she's getting now down into a grade where she should lead, and I think she should hang on tonight. Rollo Moon on the outside has been off 23 days. I'm not too sure whether there's been a problem or not, but that one could go to the bend with Bancher Flow, but I don't think we'll have enough to get round the selection. Who's Alice on the inside is a bit of a one pacer and stays on in the closing stages. And I think that all things being equal, Bancher Flow should probably lead and hang on, but I didn't really have a bet in race 3. On to race 4, and I do like the chances of Lightfoot Sancho here from box 3. Real pacey animal, been a little bit on and off the card, but Sean Parker's a master trainer at getting these dogs back. Had a couple of runs now, was a little bit unlucky last time out. I think Ragtime Lenny and 2 will move into the rows and probably, kind of might just bump with Barnfield Orchid. Blake's Arms is a breaker more than anything else. And I think if Lightfoot Sancho can just get any kind of start here, get into the contest, I'm sure that he'll win. He was a 3-1, much bigger price. He's around about 9-4. So there's no sort of big bet there, but it's a fairly confident selection, Lightfoot Sancho. Moving on to race 5. The one thing to say here, Brendan's Danny, I don't know what this one's doing in trap 5. It's ridiculous. More of a lane 2 course that this one will take. It'll give Sybil Jack all the room in the world. He's been all running all right. Like he's been sliding down the grading ladder a little bit, and he took his chance in B5 company when he was sent off odds on. And then he ran all right and came second running on in the closing stages. Last time out was only narrowly beaten. I thought Cathal's Icon could lead the race in trap 2, but he's a little bit vulnerable in the closing stage. I think Sybil Jack can probably track him around. It looks 2 runners, 2 and 6, because Brendan's Danny will cause a lot of problems and carve up Talansky and move over Mickey on the run to the bend. Race 6, a B5 grade event. Mad About Chap's been dropped 2 grades here for some reason. Don't really know why. It's got plot draw as well because Hawkfield Wisdom, his next door neighbour in trap 2, will move off. Obviously, been well gambled now. You had to be sitting on the laptop, I think, when the prices came out for Mad About Chap. I've stuck him up last 2 ups around about 5-1. So there's no way I really want to back him at evens, even though he could go off shorter, because he is a bit of a thinker. He's a bit of a quirky animal, but I think he could easily get to the front here and make a mess of these. On to race 7, and another one that looks to be chucked in a little bit is Break of Day Ebony. Not one to go overboard on by any means, but I just thought at 6-4 was a straightforward bet, slightly bigger as well. Moving streams, going through the motions, got no early speed. Likewise, Crown Maggie in 6. Nettie's Turbo could lead the race, but I think if Break of Day Ebony got any kind of start, just track that one round and blow it to bits late. Aftonasia's a bit of an anomaly for me because, again, strange grading, was running in B7 at the start of November, getting beaten, upped into a B5, came last, dropped into a B6, came last, went disappearing off the card, and then ended up in a B6 at 20-1. Wasn't great, but the trials say that Aftanasia might just be slightly better than that. And that last run was on minus 140 ground, so you can probably line that one. But I just thought 6-1, I'm not going to let this one go on back. So I'm going to bet 3 and just cover my stake on 4 in race 7. Moving on to race 8. I think the runners here are 1, 3 and 4. It's a B6 contest. Pinch of Snow up on the inside's got a chance to lead. Is a little bit hit and miss at the start, however, but has got a good makeup in the shape of Do It Quietly, who again is another one that's up in grey without winning. 2 wins from 50-odd starts for Do It Quietly, so it's rather harsh on Kenny Everett's dog, but, you know, hey-ho. Paddy Spark is a dog that has got some kind of a squeeze, although September 20 only had the 4 starts and had 2 wins as well, and actually beat Do It Quietly last time out. But I think here might just get into the contest with a slightly better break. It's been running out of 4, and I think 3 might just suit Paddy Spark a little bit better, and does probably stay all right as well. Could easily turn behind Pinch of Snow and then out battle that one near the line. Mousy Mac is another dog that I quite like, but I just can't get the greyhound out of the boxes. So obviously he's going to have a little bit to do, clearing both 1 and 3 into the turn. I thought the stayers 5 and 6 probably had it all to do on the outside. On to the sprints then, race 9. We've got 4 of them tonight. I like Midtown Izzy, done us a few favours, slightly up in grade here tonight, but again got a draw. And at 6-1, I thought she was overpriced there, so I had to have a little small play. I thought the other 2 runners were Rathme and Blake, who's very, very hit and miss at trap rise, and also our old favourite Ballymat Puddles. Again, another one that's done us a few favours in recent times. A little bit unlucky last time out on the 24th on Christmas Eve when missing the kick. Again, has got 2 ways of starting. I slightly favour Ballymat Puddles in front of Rathme and Blake, so I'm going to bet 1 Midtown Izzy at a big price, and also Ballymat Puddles in box 6. On to race 10, D3, tricky race this one. Favoured the inside 2 runners here, All My Friends and Knockout and Power. I can't get this one to win. Switch from Pelor Grange, shows flash of ability, doesn't come out the traps, and never seems to win. So you get fed up sometimes of backing the same dogs. But again, 9-2 is probably slightly overpriced, but I didn't really come up with a bet here. An interesting runner is Broadland Bonnie on the outside. A good starter in sort of A2 company, A3 company, and had a qualifying trial of just fell off the car back and qualified here for this sprint. So probably let in fairly lightly. But the 1746 is there was minus 70 going allowance from an 1816. It was a solo trial. You don't really know. So all in all, there were too many unknowns here. Robin's Girl was disappointing from track 4 last time out. Racket or Freya's dropped in grade as well, but not really going around the bends. There's just too many anomalies, not enough confidence. So I didn't get to have a bet in race 10. Onto the 11th race, a lot of smash breakers here. Again, not a speedy race by any means, but you'd expect that, I guess, in a D4. But I didn't think a lot of these had anything in hand. I see there was money, actually, for Midtown Monty. And for a slow breaker that needs a little bit of luck, I kind of scratched my head there because he's got gone really short in the market now. But I guess if he did get any kind of run there, he'd go mighty close. But again, I couldn't find any value. On to the 12th and final race, the 928. Hopefully we've got it by then. But for the needy and the greedy, I think the runners here are Wildcats Kitty in 2, Coaltown Lola in 4, and Lagala Claire in trap 6. I made them co-favourites. Didn't fancy the other 3 at all. And I think that maybe Wildcats Kitty offers the most value. But at 7-2. She's a bit quirky. Can't seem to get her out of a boxing. She's been switched to sprinting. And she was all right leading in B6 grade event over the 450 metres. But maybe you might even want to just play safe there and play a place on Wildcats Kitty in the last. Let's have a look at the selections then. Get them up on the screen. There you go. A fairly decent bet on Lightfoot Doak at 11-10 to blitz out and make all in the A1. 6.28. I'm going to bet 2 greyhounds here. Barnside Taylor at 6-1 and Penny's Endeavour just over the 2-1 mark. The 6.58. I like this dog. Lightfoot Sancho, very, very pacey individual. Just need a run in the early stages with him. Break of Day Ebony seems to be gifted a race there, 6-4. Wouldn't want to take much lower than that, mind. And Athanasia, I'm just having a little nibble on that, an overpriced 6-1. And in the 8.38, I've gone from my old pals, Midtown Izzy and Ballymac Puddles in the sprint. As ever, be lucky. We'll see you Wednesday. And again, Happy New Year.